everyone to the Granada Community Services District Parks Advisory Committee meeting for Monday, April 26th. My name is Pat Tierney. I'm the chair of the PAC, and I would like to I'd like to call this meeting to order and ask each committee member to introduce themselves, say hello.
I can start. Susanna Cantrell. Hello.
I guess I'll go second. My name's Lyle Caulfield. I'm brand new, 32nd aged new PAC member.
Right on. I'm Rick. Hello, Rick Barker.
Hi, I'm Fran Pollard.
We also have with us this evening Delia Comito, who's on the staff. She's the assistant general manager. And we also have
Paul is here.
Hi, I'm Paul Kelsch.
Oh, sorry, Paul, didn't give you a chance. Okay.
All good.
And Delia, say hello.
Hello, everybody.
And we also have in attendance, happy to have one of the Granada Community Services District board members, Nancy Marsh.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and go to the first item on the agenda, which is to introduce Lyle Caulfield. I'm going to ask him to introduce himself in just a minute, but just a little bit of background. We had the board of directors solicited applications for a new PAC member last year. And so we're finally able now to, they accepted Lyle. So we're able to invite him and happy to have him here at this meeting. Lyle, why don't you tell us just briefly a little bit about your background as it relates to El Granada and recreation?
Okay, I'm a relatively new El Granada resident. I built a house and moved in 5 years ago up on Ferdinand Avenue at the intersection of Ferdinand and Carmel. And I spend a lot of time outdoors, walking my dog and, plotzing around the neighborhood. And when I saw the application pop up, I thought that would be a great way to get more involved in the community and in an area that I always felt that El Granada could use a little improvement. And it'd be nice to be able to participate in, or at least give a little input to the direction that our recreational facilities goes in. I'm really excited to be involved in that. And I'm also excited to see how much progress was being made with the Burnham strip there. That's really exciting to me. I think it's going to be a great improvement for our little community here. It's just a special community if you all live here.
Thank you, Lyle, and welcome. We're going to put you to work here
All right.
tonight and afterwards.
Good deal.
All right.
I'm looking forward to it. So
we're going to jump to the second agenda item, which is, wait a second, we need to do provide an opportunity for the general public to participate in this meeting. If someone is listening this evening and would like to comment about something that is not on the agenda, then please raise your hand or in some way indicate that you're interested, and we'll let you present. I don't see anyone on the list except for board members. our PAC members and board members?
Michelle just arrived at the meeting.
Ah, yes. Michelle, please introduce yourself.
She's on mute.
Hello,
There she
I'm
is.
Michelle Dragony. Guess I should take my video on.
Great. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have the whole pack here this evening. That's great to see. All right, so not seeing any other anyone from the public interested in presenting, we're going to move to our second agenda item, which is to approve the February 1st, 2021 PAC meeting minutes. Does anyone have, everyone's had a chance to see the minutes. They were sent to you. And does anyone have any changes that needed to be made on the minutes? All right, seeing none, does anybody want to put a motion to approve the minutes? Rick Barker, I see your hand raised. Someone want to second the approval of minutes?
Yeah, I can.
Suzanne, okay, so we have the minutes approved. Let's move on to the next agenda item.
Sorry, you need to vote on it, Pat.
Oh, we need to vote, yes. So go ahead and all in favor of approving the minutes, indicate aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
okay.
Pat, I would like to make a comment. I didn't get a chance at public comments.
Yes,
I thought-
go ahead.
This is something unusual to ask the committee, and I don't know how we're going to do this, but you know, this is, I think drastic times call for drastic measures, and we're facing a real severe summer, and I don't want to see this town become the next community to burn up. And I just feel like we have to take a stand or support any of the groups that are doing something to get the county to move and do something positive this year. And I know it's unusual for us. It's not part of our purview, but we are a park committee and we're concerned about our parks and whether we own it or not, it's in our community. And I think we should, if we can't, we're going to discuss this, figure out how to go about it. So I just wanted to bring it up, and I hope that everybody would support that. We'd have to present it to the board and ask them to support if we support it and whatever we come up with. Since it's not on the agenda, we can't really vote on it tonight. So that's it. I just wanted to bring it up.
No, all I was going to say is you cut out right when you're talking about what it is that you're proposing, what it is that you're concerned about. So I know it's fire, but if you go ahead and repeat that.
Did you miss the whole thing after
No,
that?
just when you said what you were talking about.
I'm talking about supporting to get the county to do something positive about fire prevention here. They have a plan, but it's a 5-year plan, and they're not that excited, it seems to me, to do anything right now. Maybe maintain what they've already done, which I don't think is enough.
Could you be more specific as far as county? Are you talking county of cemetery? Are you talking county parks? What are you talking here?
And where are you talking about, Fran?
Well, county parks would propose something, I guess. And yeah, the Board of Supervisors, I suppose, has to take action. But we would, I guess, have to bring it to our board, to the Granada board. And hopefully we all support that the county takes some positive action in doing something. They do have a plan. And Governor Newsom is giving the counties millions of dollars this year to take care of fire danger and prevention. And that's what I think needs to be done. They're doing fire preparedness. And I think instead of preparing for a fire, they need to be doing fire prevention. And that's what I'm hoping for. And maybe we can talk to others in the community and support them and get our board to support it and get the county to act. That's my hope.
And Fran, just real quickly, what area are you talking about?
Quarry Park.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what they're, the county is already planned something for Quarry Park. So they're planning well, I mean, one of the things that came up was 200-foot border all around the edge of the community from El Granada Boulevard to Murata Surf. And if they would at least, but there's no timeline on that. So I'm saying that sounds great. It's a start. Let's do that this year before the summer heat wave and before the fire season starts.
okay, thank you, Fran.
Okay,
This
thank
was
you
not-
for,
Yeah,
thank you for listening.
this was not an agenda item. So this is under public participation. So we can't legally vote on it as a committee, but appreciate that Fran is reinforcing what all of us have as a concern who live in the El Granada area. So
One note to that, Pat.
Yes.
There's been quite extensive meetings for the MCC involving Horsley and involving the Parks Director and Rich Sampson from the CAL FIRE in the last 2 weeks. Quite a few meetings. There was also another meeting with CAL FIRE where they went into hardening your home and defenses. So I believe those resources are online if the public wants to read about those as far as what the county's doing.
great.
Yes, that's
Thank
true.
you. Thank you. We're going to move on. The next agenda item, we've approved the minutes. And so we're on agenda item 3, which is update on the pump track. So would one of the PAC members want to fill us in on what is the latest on the pump track?
Okay. No, me?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you to, Rick, because I don't.
No worries. No, I got it. Yeah, just talked to Nick recently. The engineering building plans are almost complete. They go up to the Parks, San Mateo County Parks Board of Supervisors for approval. Once they are finally approved by them, which I've been told should be a relatively, their approval. They've already approved the project. They just need to approve the engineering plans. And then once the plans are done, they go out for bidding. As far as the scope and who is bidding on it yet hasn't fully, or who's eligible to bid hasn't been fully revealed yet to me. So, and then once the bidding happens, then there's obviously the construction, and there is a moratorium during the winter months. So they are running behind schedule again. So it may push everything past all of that into that erosion moratorium during the wet season.
So far, there is a possibility for construction this summer and fall, but it's unless something happens real quick, it won't happen.
I don't see it happening this summer, unfortunately.
Okay.
Does,
Well, again,
I have a
Fran?
question. Doesn't it go before the Planning Commission, before the Board of Supervisors?
Which planning commission is that?
County Planning Commission.
I don't believe so.
I think that's what Nicholas had said originally, but I
Okay.
don't know.
I could be missing that step. I'm not aware of that.
They did have that meeting with the county parks board.
Yep.
So, and I think that was to move on to the recommendation. So maybe, yeah, that might still have to happen, right? Or maybe it probably did happen if they've actually drawn up plans. So yeah, I would say it's probably happened.
The Board of Supervisors has passed a resolution in favor of approving Quarry Park. Then it is beyond the Planning Commission. They've already decided.
Yeah, they're just approving the engineering drawings at this point.
Okay. Anything else on the pump track? Uh,
I don't have anything to add at this time. Paul, Susanna, you guys got anything?
Pat,
Yes,
I spoke with Chuck last week and they are still working out the funding agreement. Apparently it's hung up in legal, like some indemnity clause or something, but I'm gonna push to make sure that gets moved through, just so you know.
yes, thank you. We appreciate that. Just for anyone in the public listening tonight, the PAC was one of the original proponents for a pump track in Quarry Park and has been actively involved. Paul and Rick and Susanna, Michelle have been actively involved in this process. So it's good to see it moving along, even if it's at a glacial pace. But we're doing that. And the district board of directors has approved a resolution to support, financially support the pump track up to a certain level amount of money. And so the district has been behind this, and we hope it progresses quickly. Michelle, you're muted.
So the fee mitigation account, the account that they've been taking, construction money out, like a 2% on construction, right? Well, Fran has been talking about this, and I know that on Coastal Windage they were talking about it. I mean, Chris Johnson, right? And so I mentioned it to Greg DeGez, and he's finance, so
Yeah.
he has engaged the county, and he got an email back. I got to see the thread. It's not ready for publication yet, but basically every single attorney in the attorney office of the county got back to him on this.
Oh, boy.
And they sent him a raw data spreadsheet. It's just a barf, financial statement. So he's got to figure out and go through it. There's some consideration of malfeasance of some sort, but I think if we look at the pragmatics of the history of San Mateo County parks over the last 5 years, Marlene Finley was the last person who was in charge, and then there was nobody in charge for 2.5 years. So it's not a surprise to me. So I think if we just work with them, we'll find the money.
How is this fund or any of this related to the pump track? Sorry to interrupt.
Some of this money's supposed to be, that's what they're saying, is that they're not spending county money on this. They're spending out of our own account.
Which they're not supposed to do. That account is for either buying land for parks or for the community center. Those are the two things it's supposed to be for. They've been accumulating the funds for 10 years, no, since 2002, almost 20 years.
Who's is it? I'm sorry. Who's accumulating the funds? County parks?
No,
Yeah.
San Mateo County on behalf of us.
It's taken out every house that's built, every addition to a home, they're charging a fee that goes into the pot it's called an assessment fee. And I think they've been using it for other things other than, not even in our community. So.
Well, we don't know that for sure.
No, I know.
Okay, well.
That's hearsay.
This doesn't have anything to do with the pump track, though.
But that's what Greg is trying to find out, is where the money is, how much of it is there, and how it's been spent. And to Rick, your point, partly it was something that Chris said. So you can talk to Chris Johnson, but he and maybe it was something that Fran, also you said, but that they were paying for the pump track out of the fee mitigation fund. And so when they were asked for, well, how much is in the fund and where is this fund, they seem to know, because they're going to take the money out, but we can't actually see it. So I thought the county was paying for the pump track out of general funds, not our particular mitigation fee. And maybe that's okay with everybody, but I think we should know for sure how this thing is actually being funded. And I'm not clear on that. So if somebody else is clear, I'd love to know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Nancy.
Who's what When you say our mitigation fee, do you mean the area of El Granada? You don't mean GCSD?
Yes, it's the
Fran?
county. It's the coast side area, not
Okay,
Yeah,
just El
it's-
Granada.
Yeah,
Mid-coast.
the whole mid-coast.
Mid-coast.
okay. Thank
It's-
you.
It's all development in the mid-coast. There's a fee that goes into this pot, whatever it's called. And it's, like I said, it's been accumulating for 20 years almost. And they haven't spent a dime to buy us a park or the community center.
It also can go to community parks as well. It doesn't have to go to buying land or a community
No,
center.
that was
Go
the
to park
original
development.
idea, was to only
not
for
how
the
it reads.
purpose of acquiring new little mini parks, neighborhood parks, a community
Corey
park.
Park is a neighborhood park.
So
Yeah, but they took it. Now it's no longer our community park.
I'm
Okay.
going to
Yeah.
slow down the discussion here for a second. I was involved the last 15 years ago with that. They have used those funds to improve the ball fields at El Granada Elementary, at Montera, Fair Longview. So they have used it for some community projects. And that's, I'm glad Greg is looking into it, but that's not going to change the approval for the pump track. So, and there's money, that's what they tell us. So let's move on unless somebody has a new issue.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you. That was a good discussion by everyone. Let's move on to the fourth item, which is the status of Burnham Park and the community center planning and how PAC can help. And we really appreciate you being here, Nancy, to kind of fill us in on that.
Okay, I've got, I even made notes. Let me do the community center. It's fairly quick. We have our eyes on the fire station. I think I reported to you last time that we had an architect review the building simply to see if it could contain the kind of must-have spaces we need for district offices and a community center. We determined, and the board agreed, that it will fit the bill, including maybe even a court in back that could be pickleball or badminton size court. And we were not trying to do a design of the building, simply to say, with the spaces that we need, will they fit into this building's footprint? And they will. We're just waiting for it to go on the market. And Matthew Clark is sort of regularly in touch with the fire district president to see. They don't have a timeline for when they're going to put it on the market. And I'm not sure what they're holding up on, whether they have to do more cleanup or what. But we should hear when they put it on the market. They just don't have a timeline and haven't done it yet. So in terms of PAC, we're just in a holding pattern until the building comes available for us to make a bid on. For the Burnham Park, there is ongoing work. You know, the plan that's on the billboard that was agreed in November is a proposed plan. What's been going on since then is the far more detailed design. The layers and layers of design. I picture kind of a house plan that has the electrical plan and the plumbing plan and so on. The park will have a grading plan and a variety of layers of detail that Kikuchi and Kenkel are working through. They will soon issue an RFQ for a civil engineer to help with the engineering detail on the plan. Following that, a CEQA consultant. We don't have a timeline for when the submission will happen. It all seems to me like it takes way too long, but they are continuing to push through and work on it. So nothing's changed at this point. They're just working through those layers of detail they need in order to be able to submit the plan to the county. I think post-submission, because we're, as we go through with the civil engineer, as we go through with the CEQA consultant, Some things in the plan may change because they need to change as we find more detail and learn more. I think once we get to post-submission and what we've learned and had to change along the way, we'll have more areas for community input at more granular detail as we prepare to go from plan approval to actually starting to build. Things like the actual native plant and other plant palette, things like the actual plate equipment. There will be several buckets of things for which we'll need community input and for which we'll be looking to PAC to help and to coalesce that input as PAC has done for each wave of community input we've done so far. So there's nothing in the near term. We're kind of sitting on our hands, letting all of the experts do their thing until we get to plan submission. I'm hoping it's in the near term, but I don't know how long these things take. I think it's probably going to be several more months. The one other thing that's happening is the board will explore, I hope this is on the agenda at our May meeting, financing options, mainly to be sure. One of the concerns that is consistently expressed in the comments on the park is don't raise my taxes, which we don't even have the ability to do, so that's not an issue. And make sure that with the revenue you have, you can maintain whatever you build. And that will go for the community center as well. And so we are, we're getting roughly $700,000 a year in the property tax share that is coming to the district to pay for parks and recreation. And we've been reserving some as we go along. We have to pay to Half Moon Bay 18% of whatever we spend, because remember, for parks, we don't cover, for sewers, we cover all the way to Frenchman's Creek. For parks, we don't cover the territory that is within the city limits of Half Moon Bay. That's covered by their parks and recreation. And so in the original LAFCO agreement, some of what we spent on parks has to be reimbursed to Half Moon Bay. And so keeping a watching brief on that. What I want to make sure on behalf of all those comments of concern is that with the financing options that will be available to us, and we can get out a mortgage for the community center for the fire station, we can get out construction loans for building the park or renovating the building. I really want to be assured that we will be able to pay off, pay those financing vehicles, as well as have regular revenue for whatever staff we need and ongoing maintenance of the landscape and the building. And so we're kind of having our first review of what our financing options are and what that might look like. Now, ultimately, what we build out has to be within the envelope of the money we're getting. With the increasing property values and the turnover in the neighborhood, the money we get for property tax has actually been going up a little bit every year. It's hard to see that going down, but I just want to make sure that what we actually do is fits within the envelope of money that we're going to have. And there hasn't really been a detailed review of that to this point. We think, we're comfortable that we can buy what we're buying. How much we build out is going to depend on how much it costs and how much money we have and what it costs to maintain it. The last thing I'm going to say on the parks is I am going on actually Wednesday night to Half Moon Bay's Parks Commission. They reached out. I think Pat had some conversation with them about exploring potential collaboration with us. I don't think we're ready to explore yet, but we'll start building a relationship and a line of communication with their commission. They're an option for collaboration, maybe for more efficient spend on recreation. Boys and Girls Clubs could be another one. County parks could be another one. So we will explore in all directions, but we'll start that dialogue with them this week. And I think in their May meeting at the end of May, I will do a little presentation for them on the status of the park and community center plans.
And just for everybody, Nancy, what day is Your May meeting?
The May GCSD meeting,
Yes,
I think it's the 18th.
It's,
18th of May.
shoot, you think I'd know?
Sorry,
Hold on
I'm just
a second.
pulling up my calendar to, it's the
Oh,
third,
I have the calendar on the back of the agenda. Here you go.
it's the 20th, May 20th, Thursday, May 20th.
Sounds like that would be a good meeting for any PAC members who can to attend, because they are going to be talking about financing and scheduling and critical items.
Just to
Nancy,
qualify, I think you all get the agenda, just check it because
Actually, we have a huge May draft agenda, and I didn't see financing on it yet. It's already gigantic. So I don't
So
know.
check
that
the
it will-
agenda
it
just to
could
be sure.
June, just so you know.
Okay,
I mean, it's huge because we have our Prop 218 stuff and we have all this other stuff going on right now. So FYI.
okay, keep your eyes out for the agenda, just to be sure.
I didn't hear that, Delia. What did you say?
Oh, we just have a lot of other things going on right now. We have, you know, the tax roll coming up, and we're going to be doing a Prop 218 notice, I think.
Mm.
So our rates are going to go up a little bit.
Mm.
Yeah, and I'll send out the draft agenda soon.
Okay,
Thank you.
does any of the PAC members have a question for Nancy? She's really been following this obviously very closely.
I think.
Nancy, I do have a question.
Official, but I think it's landed on me. I'll be as one of the board members who's a former PAC member to be kind of an unofficial liaison between PAC. So if you ever have questions and things you want to connect with the board, I'll come to PAC meetings and I'll represent whatever needed the board as well.
Nancy, we really appreciate that because that has been in my mind, a weakness in the past with the PAC is that lack of direct connection with the board. They see our minutes, but they, in many ways, haven't been directly connected with us in the past. So really appreciate you being here. And I have a question for you on Burnham Park, because that seems like that would be the area that the PAC might be able to help with soonest. And so what would be your really roughest time frame to where you might need PAC assistance with the park?
I don't have a sense of how long it's going to be before we get to plan submission. My guess is the fall, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, by then maybe we'll know what kind of buckets we have to get further input on. We committed to more community input on the final name for the park. I know we've talked about plant palette, playground equipment. Could be, you know, what do we do with the interpretive signs? So there are a number of, you know, more granular detail to come up that we could sense the community on, and you know, by all kinds of means, by public meetings, by survey, by all kinds of ways.
Thank you. Any other questions about Burnham Park or the potential for a community center? Yeah, I wanted to have this brought up so that when we get to our next agenda items, this will kind of set the background for that discussion. Any last questions for Nancy?
Well, maybe I could say, has anyone asked Nancy whether, checked with the fire district, why they're holding it up?
Matthew has talked to the president of the fire district. His sense is they just don't have a sense of urgency about it. So they don't have a timeline. One of the fire trucks was at that station, I think on Wednesday or Thursday this past week. which made me think maybe they're still cleaning up or cleaning out. So no, we don't have a good sense. They just don't seem to have a real sense of urgency about getting it out there. They certainly know we're interested. They let us tour it. They let the architect tour it. They let an assessor tour it. So they know that they have a willing bidder once they decide to put it out there.
And do they know that we've already got it all designed and everything?
Yeah, well, more design work to do, but yeah, I wish they would get moving.
Yeah. Okay,
Lyle,
thanks.
did you have your hand raised for that? You're muted, Lyle.
Tap to speak. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. Forgive me for being ignorant, but my question is, what's your definition of community center? What's going to go in there?
What we looked for was a large meeting room, maybe a medium meeting room, a room we could use for crafts, but we envisioned it to be able to have arts and craft classes, all of our public meetings, big enough space for our public meetings. The recommendations from Half Moon Bay and Pacifica, if you can, Lyle, what meeting was it, Pat? Was it January when you had the
February 1st.
February 1st?
Yeah.
On PCTV or on YouTube, that would be a great meeting to watch, because we had the community center heads from Half Moon Bay and Pacifica. Pat had invited for a great, useful panel discussion. And they also very strongly recommended having space that we could use as event space to rent out as a revenue generator, as well as the classes themselves generate revenue. Mm-hmm. So in the center, all kinds of classes. I think, Pat, you'll show a list of what sorts of things the community was interested in. The other good reference, Lyle, is on the parks page on granada.ca.gov is our 2019 community survey, where we surveyed what sorts of things they'd be interested in for recreation, what they'd be interested in a community center. And then there's a separate document, which is all their verbatim comments that came in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
We will, you'll see a couple of tables from that this evening in a later agenda item.
Okay, terrific.
Other comments, questions? Okay, let's move on to, thank you again, Nancy. Let's move on to item 5, which is a summer district recreation program and ideas for that. Just as far as background for Lyle in particular and anyone else, the district does not have a recreation specialist at this point in time. They have chosen not to replace Claudia's position until we're past COVID, and we can we have maybe some more facilities and venues to provide programs in. So our program ideas that we come up with here, I'm not trying to squash anything, but I'm just giving the background that we don't have a staff person on the district who can do these programs. That means as in organize them, get a contract with the provider, and so on and so forth. So when we talk about programs that could be implemented, we really have to look to ourselves and board members, community volunteers, someone else who is willing to step up and do the whole complex process of writing the text for an online brochure, description, so on and so forth. So I think it's very important that, and I've told the board this, that the district at least tries to line up some programs for this summer. I think our constituents, they voted for that and they want to see that. But we are limited, no facilities of our own, and now no staff person in the district who is a recreation person. So yeah, we've got our hands tied to some extent, but I'm hoping that we can at least come up with something. And so I'll turn it open to the PAC members with your ideas about what could be done, given that it's almost the end of April, either this summer or fall, for recreation programs the district could sponsor. Anybody want to chip in?
Hey, Pat, Susanna here. One thing I think has worked in the past and seems easy to organize and can still be done with if there's any social distancing type of things, is either like Quarry Park cleanups, like I think Fran did, or beach cleanups or things like that in the local community. I'd be more than happy to host something like that or coordinate it. It's one idea. What were the most popular things in the past? Do we have that? Because I think there were a couple things like guided hikes and things were a hit, but I don't know if we have the resources.
I do have a list of what was popular last in 2019. And walks, community walks, community-led walks. And Nancy can comment on what she has suggested. And then Barbara Dye from the board has also offered to lead a history walk. And she is currently finishing up a book on Burnham Strip. And so she would be well qualified to do that. So those are a couple. Disabled bike program, the district sponsored, and I was the lead on organizing a bike program for youth in the community who are disabled. And that turned out to be a free program. We collaborated with El Granada Elementary School on that. Michelle, you probably remember the jumpers. Michelle was the organizer and one of the leaders for these are bouncy houses, jumpers, whatever you want to call them. How'd that work out, Michelle, in your mind last time?
It worked out great. It was fantastic. Got lots of traffic. It was at the same time that we were doing all of the the research, the initial research on the park for Burnham Strip. Talked to lots of young people that were relatively new to the area. It was really good. I don't know if we can do it again with COVID though. I don't know how that would look. I mean, you'd have to go down and you'd have to disinfect it, in between each go, I would think. But it was successful. Maybe next year.
Maybe next year, yeah. That's a challenge we face, for sure.
Right. I think the guided walks are things that we can plan for, that even with COVID, we can still continue to do. I mean, I don't think they're going to make us go back to purple again. So, and in terms of like how to do it most quickly, you could just use the Coast Side Buzz event calendar and just put the event up there and I'll promote it. I mean, an email, whatever we can put together. I mean, we can email it to the email list rather than having it printed. I know that might not be as good for some clients, but it's how you can do it quick and dirty and easy. So that's my thought.
We do still have the email list of parks. We also I'm sending a email to Claudia. She had set up a district-specific Nextdoor account, which is mapped to the district. So we're trying to track down the sign-on credentials for that so that we could use that for publicity as well.
And then if you want to reach the Latino community, we can post flyers at Pillar Ridge Manufactured Home Park, because they have I'm not sure how they're doing it, but they have Thursday second harvest. And they usually come in through the clubhouse and everything. I've done some educational things for CERT there. I don't speak Spanish, but I get somebody who does. So that's another outreach angle as well.
First of all, Susanna, thank you. I myself would personally love it if you would organize a cleanup. That'd be great. In terms of communication that we were just talking about, we've heard from community members about our programs that they don't want to bring anybody over the hill to these programs. They don't want to have any. It should be for the community, and so that's why Nancy and a number of us have suggested that we use our own email list, district email list, the Nextdoor account, because that only really goes to people in the community rather than posting it online, because the spiders, the search engines are going to find that and broadcast it everywhere. So, flyers posted in the community, I think, is a great idea. Anybody else have an idea on how to communicate about our programs?
Well, yeah, I think that's a great idea. The cleanup, that could be our portion, our way of helping mitigate fires a little bit. If we got started before summer or right at the beginning of summer and do a lot of, ground cleanup, that might help the situation a little bit. And we did it with flyers pretty much 20 years ago when we were creating Quarry Park. All we did was post signs and maybe the paper, in the newsletter. You can still do newsletters, Nancy?
We are going
I'm
to.
here. We haven't done a newsletter because we were doing it with the full menu of things that we were doing for recreation. So we haven't had a lot to talk about. So we haven't done some since a year ago. We did the Burnham postcard to homes. That was the last thing that we sent to homes. It's always an option. It's just it costs about usually $2,000 to $3,000 to do a mailer.
Well, what we did was we'd post flyers and advertise in other ways, maybe the paper. And we'd get dozens of people come out, call it community work days. And they'd, lots of people. I don't know if people today want to do those kind of things, but I would hope so. People take an interest in their community. They should want to, especially this year, help protect it. So I don't know. We could do something like that.
Well, I would be interested, Fran, or if you're wanting to do it, of contacting county parks and seeing what a group of lay people, volunteers, could do for brush removal. We're not going to have chainsaws out there. I can guarantee you that.
No.
I can connect you with Stuart, who's the county parks volunteer coordinator. But I can tell you right now, during COVID, county parks isn't doing any sort of volunteer efforts in the park at all. My organization has reached out to them several times this year, and they've not allowed any sort of, especially vegetation removal or anything of that nature, without a study and a survey of anything. So, I mean, a trash pickup day on the medians or a beach, that would probably be the easiest, I think, in my opinion. But county parks, I don't think they're going to allow any organized event.
Because of COVID?
Because of COVID, and they're going to have to do, especially if you're going to be interested in doing any sort of vegetation removal, they'll have to send out their biologists and do all that first.
Well, I wonder, one of the, sorry, did I interrupt somebody?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, because I had to prepare for one of the MCC meetings a week or so ago to talk about the fire mitigation, and I think Fran had alluded to it. Well, I did do a lot of reading about eucalyptus forest fires, and one of the big hazards is the bark peel that comes off of it. So I wonder if that could be something we could just do a volunteer day around, picking up all the bark peel in certain quadrants of the park or something, because they said it acts like a wick and is actually as bad as the canopy in eucalyptus forests. So to your point, Rick, we wouldn't be prepared.
Right.
If there is interest in this, we wouldn't be removing anything that wasn't fallen and loose already, like a stick.
I can reach out to Stuart on behalf of PAC and see if he's interested in, or if he's willing to entertain the idea.
Yeah.
Who's Stuart?
Stuart is the volunteer coordinator for San Mateo County Parks.
Oh, okay.
Rick, I appreciate that. Maybe you and Fran can coordinate your efforts. I was thinking the same thing, that it has to be deadened down before it could be removed. And I think that would be a popular thing for El Granada residents, especially who have houses near the park.
I would be out there.
Yeah.
Public Works, I'm sorry, Public Works does come periodically and rake up all the duff off the medians. So when we've done cleanups on the medians, we've done that twice. Both times, Derek and I were joined by one person. But it takes a couple hours to walk through. There can be some bark there. They periodically clean that up, but we still found trash and beer cans and soda cans and trash to pick up.
It'd be great to see a cleanup on the Burnham property. And even the Caltrans side as well,
Right.
as long as no one gets near the highway. Just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah, there's always plenty of trash there, isn't there?
Yeah, it's bad.
Mhm.
So we have at least 2 cleanup ideas that it sounds like you all are interested in pursuing. One would be a quarry park fuels removal, or whatever you want to call it. Maybe that's too officious and would get lots of pushback, but a quarry park cleanup, and we just are able, hopefully, to remove some deadened down.
Just
And
so you
then-
know, Pat, the district can supply waste bags and the dumpster and gloves.
Okay. And so is anybody interested in kind of heading up that Burnham Park trash cleanup?
If nobody else is grabbing at it, I can. It's Susanna.
Hi, Susanna. Yeah, I appreciate that. I know you were talking about a cleanup. Maybe it's a natural transition. So great. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Some other things that have worked in the past. Oh, the disabled bike program, I'm going to take the lead on that and make my contacts again. They get specialized bikes for people with disabilities, kids with disabilities, and I'll see if we can organize that. Michelle, you had some ideas for a CPR class or a first aid class. The district provided that at no cost. Was it last time, Michelle?
Yeah, it was free. They paid me and then it was a pass through. So yeah.
Okay. I know you and I talked, but if you wouldn't mind sharing just with the committee the potential for having a CPR class.
Oh, I don't have time to teach it, but I have another guy that he's a CERT member, and his name is Paul Feldman. He does it professionally, so it's just a side hustle for me. I'm not sure that we have a protocol for first aid yet. I know that the Red Cross is teaching it, but yeah, I don't know if you want to get into that kind of liability, to be quite honest.
Right.
You're swapping spit with a mannequin. I mean, you're all in close quarters, heavy breathing's going on.
I just got my wilderness first aid recertification online, so there are possibilities, but CPR is very literally hands-on. So does somebody, Michelle, you might be the logical person, or maybe I can do it, want to investigate whether Paul, as you gave me his information, would be willing to do an online CPR class?
Well, no, you can't do an online CPR class. You have to have the mannequins. I mean, that's why Paul and I, we've been talking about it for the last 6 months, is how do we work the protocol? We haven't figured it out yet. There's 11 other CPR first aid trainers on the coast that he's been able to track down, and nobody's really figuring it out yet. I mean, OSHA's still doing training, but they're doing it with they're just doing it without any testing, without any vaccines, without any masks. So it depends on what other people's comfort levels are. I don't think you can get people to sign up, to be honest.
Yeah, right. Well, I'll look into it. You gave me the information, Michelle. I'll contact Paul. I have to get recertified for CPR in the next 2 weeks. So it's a natural for me to take that. I don't
Well,
mind.
you can do that. You can go to Red Cross. They're doing that. They're doing that for people who need it for stuff. They've worked something out, but that's an 8-hour course. I mean, the course that I teach is only 4 hours.
Okay.
It's better than Red Cross. But if you got to get it because you need a certification, I think Red Cross is still doing it. Because I had somebody ask me, I did a little bit of research a while ago, and I found something that was online. They sent them the link.
All right, great. Another class that we had Sea Hugger last in 2019 lead. I believe that was a cleanup. Is that right, Delia, or any of the committee members? Was that the Sea Hugger program was a cleanup?
Sorry, it's Nancy. I don't think we did anything with Sea Hugger. Sea Hugger does cleanups. We did the program with Sea Forager about, looking at what you could forage to eat from the ocean, but we didn't do something specific with Sea Hugger.
Sea Hugger has reoccurring monthly cleanups that are, I believe, the first weekend or I don't know their exact schedule. Yeah.
Every second Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're going to do a beach cleanup or any kind of cleanup, just team up with Sea Hugger. They got the buckets, they got the grabbers, they got everything. It's nice synergy.
Partnerships.
Yep.
Well,
it makes the cleanup a phone call rather than anything that you have to organize because they'll just do it. I mean, we'll provide another audience, kind of thing, and they'll show up and take care of it.
some good ideas that are reasonable, feasible in the time frame, possibly. Anybody on the committee have other ideas? Paul, have you thought of anything that maybe the PAC can get involved in, a program that the district could get involved in?
I haven't thought of anything, and I was gonna ask, some other people. I think, like what we kind of remember how we kind of relied on existing programs before, and we kind of did some advertising for them. I mean, maybe that's a possibility if any of those are still going. But I don't know if that's something, that we wanted to do. I know it was an effort to get to get people using our, our sign up process. So, that's kind of the only thing I could think of. But I don't really know what existing nearby is going to happen this summer.
Okay. Yeah. And those, most of us did not have very good participation because, through us anyway, because they could sign up on their own. Even though there wasn't any cost difference, people tended to go just directly with the provider. So that was a challenge. I don't think those are considered successful programs, like the sailing program and things like that. But the yacht club isn't even open yet. So, those are all challenges in these COVID times.
It's open. Yacht club is open. Bar is open.
Okay. It didn't look like it.
No. The yacht club has been open, and they've been sailing since like May of last year. And it gets back to the whole, we got to learn how to figure this out. We got the skate ramp open. Well, the yacht club was challenged by me in the same way. I said, look, you're a yacht club. This is about as socially distanced as you get. And because the Cal 20s are 6 feet within their cockpit, they were back in there in May. And they've been yachting all the time. Right. And paddling. And we in fact we just had a membership meeting yesterday, and we have 24 new members just in the last 6 months.
Michelle, is there an opportunity or a need for the district to partner with the yacht club and provide, as an example, we tried last time, a girls' introduction to sailing program. Do you see anything there that is a potential?
They kind of do their own thing. They sell out. They don't really need any marketing help. They're award-winning, youth sailing. So now one of the things you guys can still think about is that Princeton ring thing. If you want to, so I was talking to the yacht club about it just recently because the county wants to put in a ramp at the end of Vassar, and their plans for it are a little bit vague, to say the least. Anyway, it's brought the whole idea of what we do at the end of Vassar back up to the yacht club at the board level. And what Kelly Pike designed was an ADA ramp. It was an ADA ramp that would lead to a large circle, which was 1,000 feet in circumference. And I'm thinking, Kelly can't get funding for it because they think it's for the yacht club, and it's not. It's going to be totally public. And we brainstormed a couple of Fridays ago, and what we realized is we need an agency to take over. We need an agency like GCSD to say, hey, we're GCSD Parks and Recs. We want to build a swimming pool in the harbor. Now, maybe the harbor is better to be the lead agency. I don't know. But we need a public agency to be an agency so that we can go after the grant funding, which we would probably get through California waterways, boats and waterways, because it's a great project. And the California Coastal Commission loves it. The county clearly wants to have more people come to the end of Vassar. So rather than doing this really, really, really big project, which is 1,000 feet in circumference, maybe GCSD wants to take a smaller project, and it's just a little ring, and the whole thing is a community pool.
I think Matthew commented on this, that if it's something in the harbor, it has to be the harbor district.
Well, that's not what the county says. I mean, they're the lead agency for this path, but the harbor district is the lead agency for the shoreline. So I think there's a gray area here. We have an audience, a Parks and Recs audience. I mean, I see it's a partnership. I mean, a harbor district has the money, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I think. I'm already worried we're a little overcommitted in terms of money.
Right, but it's not, that's the idea. You're not paying anything. You're just looking for a grant. You see?
Yeah, you need like staff to do that, right?
Kelly will do that. He just needs we just need to have an agency. I mean, it's because a lot of GCSD is going to be volunteer work, just like anything else. I mean, look how much work you do. So anyway, the pool, you asked me, it was the number one thing I think on the list was a pool. And I think you're overextended, certainly with a variety of things. But I think it's the sort of thing that's a conversation that should be had, because it is a possibility from a technology perspective and as an access, and it's an equity issue. I mean, the Latino population can't try out for state junior lifeguards because they can't swim. They can't swim 2 laps. The pool that we would design it'd be a free form pool, but they figured out how to swim 2 laps, just like in the olden days in the 60s and the 70s when we had public pools everywhere.
Jill, what's the proposal with the water temperature? Is it just using the ambient water?
No, it'll be a saline heated filtered pool. It'll probably be solar.
And Michelle, why?
Half Moon Bay?
Pardon?
Have you guys approached Half Moon Bay, or is anyone? Because I know there's the Half Moon Bay Parks and Rec is trying to collect money.
I'm not interested in working with them. They've got their own deal. I've approached them before. They want to build a big aquatic center. I don't want to do that. We have completely different missions. They're not interested, and they're all about Half Moon Bay.
Yeah,
Michelle, why wouldn't the harbor district be the lead agency?
The county wouldn't let them.
Why? Do you know?
Nope.
I mean, it's in the harbor.
Well, I'm only talking about my ramp. I mean, the living shoreline for the Mavericks Trail, that had to go through a coastal development permit. What the county did for the end of our road is they had a they had a plan for 2002 that was a concrete dog-legged, path. And then in 2018, it turned into a dirt path that was straight, a ramp that's in the same place that we have a path right now. And they're going to put dirt there. They're going to take the riprap that's out there, and it's all been compacted. They're going to take it out, and they're going to put dirt there, which is going to wash away. So they basically what they did was there's a Ocean Boulevard it's under the water now. But the county likes to claim that as their property, and that's what they're trying to do really to get around the real permitting process that should occur at that very sensitive end of that road. I mean, it took 2.5 years to get the living shoreline permit from the Coastal Commission, and the commission was really just absolutely enamored with the project because it's an experiment. I think it's visionary, but we'll see if it works. But the thing is, they're trying new things, new technology environmentally with the living shoreline, which would be totally applicable, for what we're doing down here at Vassar.
And it's beautiful. That's really a nice design.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, it seems like you would be in the best position, since you've been working on this for years, I know, to give maybe a one-page summary of the project and how PAC could assist. And maybe that could be an agenda item on the next PAC meeting.
Cool.
Maybe it could be a future agenda item for a district board meeting after the PAC has had a chance to talk about it.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so
Thank you.
great, Michelle, you're gonna send a summary.
Mm-hmm. And it could work out like this. We have an audience that needs a pool, and as an agency, we approach the harbor saying, "Well, we have this audience. Maybe you could be the lead agency." See how we legitimize this project? That's kind of what I'm trying to do. And the Harbor District already knows about this ring. I mean, it's just trying to figure out how to get it done.
Okay. Anybody else have ideas for a summer recreation program? I'm going to show you, I think I'm going to screen share here from the 2019 survey. See if I can get it to come up. There it is. Can you all see the table here?
Yes.
Okay, great. So let me move some things around so that I can access it better myself. So this is related to interested in the recreation activities if the district offered them locally. And it's split out. There's the total column that was all survey respondents. Then the next column is households with kids under 18 years old. And the last is seniors, that was defined as people 56 and older. Michelle mentioned the pool, how popular it was, but that's in the community center portion, which I can show you in a minute. This is just for recreation in the district. What are people interested in? And cleanups right up there.
Wow.
Concerts. So it seems like we're in COVID limbo on a small concert. There's been talk of having a small concert at what would be Burnham Strip or Burnham Park. We did have concerts up in Quarry Park, in the quarry itself, the quarry floor. Not sure that we're there yet for concerts. Yoga or something similar. Here's interpretive history walks. You can see that was popular with a wide range of people. Swimming, very, very popular for youth, families with youth. Art classes, surfing lessons. We've got a lot of providers already for surfing in the community, and we offered that last time, and people just went with the local provider. Rose and Movement, that was geared towards senior audience, and you can see there it was more popular with seniors. There's again, skateboarding camp has to be at the park in Half Moon Bay. We don't have that yet here. So these are all examples of popular recreation activities, or how popular these particular recreation activities were among the community. And we're starting to do some of those. Does that help stimulate your ideas about what we should do for programs this summer? Anything there?
Yeah.
Looks like the cleanups is the biggest hit. If people turn out.
We've had pretty good luck with some of them.
May I make a suggestion?
Sure.
I'm looking at concerts, and it's just from your comments, it seems like you're visualizing that as larger venues, maybe 50 people audience. What about smaller concerts, in smaller spaces, whether they're outdoors or indoors?
What were you thinking?
Well, I don't know. It says non-amplified here, so we're not, just acoustic guitar. Finding artists that want to play small venues, outdoor venues in the area. Just an idea.
Well, certainly, yeah.
One place that could be done is that tree house over there in Quarry Park, in the top, behind the tot lot. It's, I don't know, that deck that's out there. They could play in that, and people could just spread out in the park and listen.
The dirt parking lot,
Pardon me?
more toward the evening when it starts to clear out a little bit on Obispo, could be another space. We talked a couple years ago to the Coastside Community Orchestra about doing an acoustic concert in the quarry, which would have really interesting acoustics, and the lead was really interested in it. He said it was something he always wanted to do, but when he talked to his board, they thought of 16 things that would make it complicated, so it was a non-starter at that time. But it still seemed an interesting idea. But we have the Burnham Strip. It's just not a very comfortable place at the moment to throw down a blanket and listen to somebody. But we have the parking lot, and somebody could use the skate ramp as a stage.
When is that project supposed to get done, Nancy, over there in the Burnham Strip?
I don't know. It's within a few weeks. They are going to smooth it all back out and hydroseed over where they've put in the new tanks. And I think I heard more toward the end of May. That might be a smoother spot.
Yeah.
Does somebody want to take a lead role in digging into the idea of a small concert, and where and who and how, and it's quite a while till our next board meeting, but we certainly have the option to talk about it, discuss it offline, not more than 2 members at a time. Or 3 members at a time. That's the Brown Act. We just can't meet with or talk about anything with 3 or more than 3 members. So that could be, we could come up with some ideas and proposals before the next PAC meeting, and we could present that. That could be presented to the board. But somebody would have to, on the PAC, really would have to dig in there and say, okay, I'm taking this on. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to research it, and come up with a quote unquote proposal. Somebody want to try that? It's a lot. It's some work involved. So I don't blame you if you aren't.
I would be happy to dig into that, but I don't have confidence level. I'm not even clear on what our purview is or where our spaces are. So I need to do a little homework there first. I'm still getting oriented.
Yeah, Lyle, we don't expect you to jump in right away, but if you'd like, we do not control any indoor or outdoor spaces other than the largest one is the Burnham Strip area. So we're at the early stages as a district in terms of developing parks and recreation facilities. So, an idea of partnering with members of the community and having a mini acoustic concert series that would have to be, vetted with COVID concerns and approached, with different providers in the community, I guess. So why don't you think about that?
I'm confused. They're having concerts at the Legion every weekend. They just had a huge Sea Hugger Earth Day thing at the OPL. Concerts are back. There's music at Barterra. There's music at in Pacifica at what is it? The one that they have all the big concerts.
Well,
at.
all of those venues are practicing their COVID protocols because they have to. So that if we're going to do that, have concerts in our agenda, then we would just have to do the same. That's not a big concern.
I don't know what practicing and how much work it costs. I mean, it's just people show up and they wear their mask.
Well, yeah,
it's outside. It's all
right.
Outside. So I mean, it's outside. I mean, people will sit 6 feet apart. I mean, they sit wherever. I mean, come to the Legion. In fact, drop in at the Legion. Everybody, drop in at the Legion on the weekends and stuff like that, and see how people are managing it. And everybody, the picnic tables are 6 feet apart. Everybody's in a pod. There's plenty of space for people to. And at Burnham Strip is the same way. So.
Well, if I would be certainly supportive personally, and it sounds like the PAC is at least willing to explore this more.
Now you could use a skate ramp as a stage. I mean, I can set you up with the musicians. I mean, that's kind of what Coast Side Buzz does. I mean, I have, when we had music, I had all the music for the Coast Side from Pacifica to Pescadero. So, Lyle, if you want to work on, like a list of dates and things. I mean, I don't think we have to wait for another meeting. We can do this by email.
Right. Yeah. Yes, that's what I'm suggesting.
I think that's a great idea. Why don't you and I, Michelle, talk over email?
Sounds good.
Okay. I didn't know you're Coast Side Buzz. You're the flyers on all the polls.
Well, stickers. Yeah.
She's the queen of Coast Side Buzz.
The chief buzz officer.
All right, so that's exciting. I'm really, it sounds like we have a couple of options. Let's see if I can run these by and tell me if I'm missing anything. So Susanna has offered to organize a cleanup, including maybe a vegetation cleanup in Quarry Park. Rick is going to contact the coordinator for the county, volunteer coordinator, to see if brush removal, vegetation, dead and down vegetation could be removed. There is a proposal for Burnham strip cleanup. Does anybody want to take that on, or maybe I just missed somebody offering?
Well, I might contact the county to find out what the laws and the rules might be, if they'll even allow it.
Yeah, that's what Rick's going to do for Quarry Park.
Yeah.
But the question was for Burnham Strip, which we own,
Oh,
the district owns. Anybody want to organize that?
I'm willing to make a phone call to Sea Hugger and let them take care of it, and we partner with them.
Okay, let's do that. It would be a partner with Sea Hugger.
By the way, Sea Hugger gave us the cigarette butt disposal canisters that have been attached to the ramp. They're awesome.
They are awesome.
All right, so thank you, Michelle, for volunteering to at least do a quick check-in. I volunteered to look at the disabled youth bicycle program again. So I will do that. And CPR, I also volunteered to look into CPR online and contact some local providers, see if they'll do that. Michelle has offered to write a summary about the harbor swimming ring, and she's going to present that, send that summary to the PAC members and maybe we can have that as a discussion item in the next PAC meeting and or a board meeting. And then Michelle and Lyle were going to work together to investigate whether small community concerts could be done this summer or fall. Did I miss anything, everybody?
Nope.
I don't think so.
Hey, Pat,
Yes.
at what point we were talking about some sort of scavenger hunt? Did that not get found?
Yes, I did. Yeah, thank you for reminding me of that. I contacted my department at San Francisco State and the internship coordinators and several other faculty, and I asked students in my past classes, and we did have to see if they would be interested in putting together an online scavenger hunt that would be based in, El Granada area. And the only student takers that we got was a person who wanted to do their internship there and wanted us to teach them about how to put together a scavenger hunt. So in other words, the people that had experience, the students that had experience already have already been taken by other organizations. And there wasn't certainly no one here in El Granada that had the time or would be willing to do an internship for a student. So that kind of, that didn't go anywhere. But I did contact students.
So pre-COVID, one of my side hustles was Half Moon Bay Coastside Tours, and Mary Corcoran, she basically has a Princeton Harbor scavenger hunt. It's already done. All you got to do is just, again, it's a partnership. I can talk to her about that. And
Who is
and the way I look at it is, she'll own the event, she'll run the event. She's really good at logistics, and I'll ask her for a paragraph, and we put it out on the email, and Bob's your uncle. I think that's how we can do it really quickly and easily. Anybody who's actually doing the class or organizing organizing the class is responsible for the paragraph that goes out either on Nextdoor or through, the emails and gets put up on the website, those 3 ways of communications.
Michelle, would you either during or after the meeting, would you send me the contact name of that person?
Yeah.
And information? And that was at Coastside Tours, did you say?
Half Moon Bay Coastside Tours, and the lady's name is Mary Corcoran. And I can just text her and ask her if she's interested. I'll do it now.
Okay,
Present.
thank you. So the idea, I think, there would be that the district would partner with HMB Coastside Tours to put together a Princeton Princeton Harbor area scavenger hunt. Any other great ideas? These have been good. Okay, so let's as a committee have a thumbs up, thumbs down on each one that I list. So I'm going to list these again, and let me know visually if you could turn on your screen so that I can see you. Thumbs up or thumbs down on each one of these. So a Quarry Park cleanup, Susanna leading. Everybody give us thumbs up. So that's one that has unanimous approval. Rick is going to be working with the county volunteer coordinator to see about a brush removal, vegetation removal opportunity. And she's going to be working with Susanna on that. So the next one would be Burnham Track cleanup, which would be done in partnership with Sea Hugger and the district. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, unanimous. CPR class. I'm going to look into that, but the idea is someone works with the district like we did last time for CPR class. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Let me know what you think. Okay, it's about split. So we've got at least three. Let's do it again here. Put your thumbs up or thumbs down. Michelle, Paul's, okay, so it's 4-2, so we'll look into that more. The Princeton swimming ring, I don't know if we're ready to do that yet. I think that's to be determined, but let's take an initial straw poll. Should the district pursue at least exploring this option more? Based on the discussion, thumbs up or thumbs down? Anybody? Okay, so that's the majority there, or aye. Let me see if I get it right here. The disabled bike program in cooperation with the school district, thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, that's number 5. Community orchestra or some kind of, not a community orchestra, but a small concert or concert series in the community. Should the district get involved with that? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Okay, unanimous. A Princeton Harbor scavenger hunt that would be done primarily by HMB Coastside Tours with our support. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Okay, so good. We have 7. We have 7 programs that have a sponsor, and so obviously our next meeting is in 3 months. That's not going to work. So if each of you would Delia, I have a question for you and how we should proceed on this. Are you there, Delia? How about Nancy? Are you there, Nancy? We may have to get back to you on this. Let's see if later we can find those folks and ask the question how we should proceed. I know we can email up to 2 people. You can email up to 2 other people, up to 2 other people with your ideas, and I'll see if there's a way that we could handle some of these things by email. So we have 7 recommendations that the PAC has approved tonight for a summer fall recreation program. And so that's great. Thank you, everybody, for jumping on board and being willing to volunteer. Okay, agenda item. Let me get that again. Okay, so we're moving on to number 6, potential future PAC projects and timing. I think we have a great list right here already. We just talked about, but I would add what Nancy and I have talked about in the past, which is how PAC could potentially help with help the board. And I met with Matthew and Barbara Dye and Nancy and asked them that question: how can the PAC better assist the board? And 2 things that came up were one was that what Nancy mentioned, which was in 6 to 9 months, see which features of Burnham Park the community would want to see built or created first. Nancy would be probably better able to talk about this, but the board has discussed how they may phase the building of Burnham Park in order to be able to finance it and be able to fund it. And so it begs the question, well, once the design is done and approved by the board, which parts of it should be done first, which are absolutely the most important elements. But that's 6 to 9 months out. So we can probably talk about that at the next board meeting. And then similarly, the board members have suggested a community workshop of potential community center features that they would like to see. And I'm going to share the screen here for a moment. This is what you saw before. I'm going to move it down. Hopefully, let me see if I can get to it. There it is. This is a community recreation center in El Granada. And the question was, how important would each of these features be for a small community recreation center? And it varies by how important. So you can see here that a fitness room and basketball courts were quite popular. Multi-sport court. So we have this to build upon. But when we get a little farther down the road, there's the community swimming pool, very popular. So when the district gets farther down the road in terms of if they have the property, when they purchase the property and they have some ideas on what the community center might look like, then we'd be able to really work on that as well. So both of those two things are long-term projects, the way I see them. So any other, yes,
Pat?
comment? Yes.
An easier way to read that would be to put the top things at the top, you know, according to their popularity. Put the most popular at the top and then on down the line. And then it's easier to tell what's really liked rather than looking all over the place.
Yeah, they are listed in that order right now. What I did was combine very important and important, and the combined total of those was supposed to be the order in which it appeared. But
Well,
you're
it
right.
looks like they're mixed up.
It isn't. Okay, I can certainly reorder those.
Okay.
I'm making a note on that. Any other comments about how should PAC help the board and the district? Because we're going to talk about an action plan here in a few minutes. Okay, so let's move on into
Pat?
yes.
To Fran's point, I think if you scroll down to the next page, you have, that's where you have the important and very important added together.
Okay, let's see.
You did a summary page. There you
Yeah,
go.
there it is. There it is. This is for the community center. Thank you, Nancy. So event space, crafts room, but some of these things may not be possible in the design that the board eventually approves. And so there will be a lot more refinement of those, but this is a place to start.
We definitely had the first 4 in our programming for the review of the fire station.
Okay. All right. Nancy, did you want to add anything under how the things that the PAC can do to help the board and the district move forward?
I wish there was a way to put an accelerator behind all of the planning work so that we could get to the doing work. But this is my first government project, so I haven't found that magic button yet. No, it's frustrating last year and this year between COVID and kind of being in the planning phase and not the doing phase. There's a little less activity to do other than whatever recreation we can do. But we did, PAC just did a fabulous job of community outreach in 2018 and 2019. So I hope 2022 will be more of that as we get into the building phases.
So community outreach is going to be a big PAC activity in the future, as soon as we get to that point where we can be more specific.
Yeah, that's the intent of PAC is to be a voice of the community.
Okay, anything else on that topic number 6? Okay. One of the things that was brought up in my meetings with board members was updating the Parks and Recreation section of our website. Let me stop the share here and see if I can. I don't have the district website up. The district, as you know, has a Parks and Recreation section on their website. It has not been updated for a while. Nancy was the person who was the primary author of that section, and I helped a little bit as well. Nancy, do you think that we should be updating that Parks and Recreation section of the website? And if so, how should PAC get involved? See if we can get Nancy up here again.
Oh, shit.
Pat,
Yes.
I provided a copy of what's on the website right now in the packet.
Okay.
And I would say that if anybody wants to provide a written update, they can send it to staff and then we'll have it posted unless we'll run it through the proper channels just to make sure it's okay with everybody. And then, we'll update it.
Okay. Well, that's helpful. One of the things that we could do is for each one of these programs, the community concert, the cleanup, you need to provide a paragraph, roughly a paragraph write-up description of it. And that could certainly go on the website. And if anybody has any inspiration to revise it, what I will do is I'll put together an electronic version of that and have Delia send it around to everyone. I'll make a few updates and revisions. And then each one of the PAC members, feel free to make comments, suggestions, edits on that, and then send it back to Delia. And Delia and I will work together on revision of that. Does that sound reasonable to the group? Okay, so everybody's going to have their own project write-up, and then I'll get feedback from you on updating the website.
Pat, one of the things
Yes.
is we need a newer group picture. The one that's on the website is from 2019. I know getting all of you together might be difficult, but I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Well, we have a new member, so
Yeah,
maybe
but there's no picture since 2019. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Lyle, what do you think? Are you ready to be showing your face with this group of people?
We have to have
I said I'm doing that right now, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
I was just going to say that if you get everybody to turn their camera on and you just take a picture of this Zoom screen. Yes, Rick. But no, seriously, for right now, just so that people do know who Lyle is. And that's an easy photo change out. I do it all the time on my website.
Okay. Let's try it. So Rick, you gotta tune in. Nancy.
I'm gonna hop off since
You're gonna hop
I'm
off.
no longer in the picture.
You have to tune in here. Paul, can we get your video on? There it is. All right. Delia, yeah.
I'm gonna take the picture. Hold on. All right, is everybody here?
Okay. So get your smiling faces here. I'm gonna have to hold mine up so it isn't as bright.
Okay, ready?
Hang on a second. Nobody can
Okay.
see me. Okay. All right.
Check your hair.
Look beautiful. And go ahead.
Okay, one more. Okay, got it. All right, I got it. Thank you.
All right. Well, we have a start at that. So thank you, Michelle, for an easy solution.
Great idea.
Okay, so I do not have any other agenda items other than our next PAC meeting. We already have that date and I forgot to write it down for tonight's meeting, but I will send it to everyone. And the next meeting date is in about 3 months. So anything else for the good of the order?
Nope.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, any second? Seconded, all
You
in
don't need a motion to
favor?
adjourn, Pat.
What's that, Delia?
You don't need a motion to adjourn.
Okay, so
Good idea.
we are adjourned.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Night.